So I want to ask you guys, what truck do you think is better to buy? The Ford F150 or the Ford F250? So I got both of them. 2015 F150. It's got a 2.7 liter EcoBoost, and I got a 2015 F250, and it's got a 6.2 liter V8 engine. And I got the old model, not the new aluminum body. I got this back in 2015 when right before the aluminum launched. So I don't know. I'm thinking about trying to get into the aluminum one, but this one still got really low miles, and it's really no need yet to upgrade. But yeah, I want to know, what do you guys think is better to purchase? Now, obviously, you should get the truck that you need. Like, if you need a 250, you got to get a 250. If you need the hauling ability, the towing ability, then you absolutely need to get a 250, no question about it. But the F150s are really starting to increase in capability, and I believe in 2018 the ratings are even going even higher. So that's another interesting concept. Is like, I do lawn mowing, snow removal. The F150 can almost do everything that I need to do. I haven't done anything. Well, I haven't done too much things during the summer with this that will require it to be a F250. Our trailer is only 2,500 pounds, so we don't need to have this much towing capacity. This truck can tow a lot of weight. I can't remember exact numbers, but I know well over 10,000 pounds this truck can tow. And it can haul way more than we need just for mowing lawns. So, in all honesty, during the summer months, it's a little bit overkill for us to have the F250. Whereas if we were to use the F150 for what we do in the summer, I think we'd save on gas. So when I tested this truck towing our lawn mowing trailer, this truck can tow our trailer and can return better mileage than this truck can with no trailer. So that's another interesting concept. I think with a smaller engine, that little 2.7 EcoBoost is so much more efficient than the gas engine. And this one is 6.2 gas V8. It's so much more efficient than the EcoBoost that it would save a lot more fuel to just use the EcoBoost for just the summer work. And realistically too, the way the power comes in is obviously less. This has 325 horsepower. This has 385 horsepower. But on the flip side, you're talking 375 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that much torque with that much fuel economy, yeah, the F250 has more torque, but it doesn't get the fuel economy. And I think it has like 385 foot-pounds of torque or somewhere around there, whereas this torque comes close and gets outstanding mileage. Not only does the torque come in close, but it comes in low. It comes in way lower at an RPM, lower in the RPM band than it does over here. Over here, your max torque is in the high end of the RPM band. Now, the 6.2 is still a pretty amazing engine. So when you're towing, at least with the load that we've been towing, the RPMs stay low. Rarely do you ever have a situation where the engine's just revving and you're trying to get up to speed. The RPMs stay fairly low unless you're really trying to get down on the freeway or something. Then the engine, it'll downshift and it'll shoot up those RPMs just to get up to speed. But for the most part, our load's so light that it doesn't really need to downshift too much just to get up to speed. Whereas on the EcoBoost, it actually has more usable torque. Believe it or not, a lot of people that say, "Oh, it's not a V8 or whatever." Believe it or not, these EcoBoosts have more usable torque than your V8s, your big V8s, even the 5.0. The guys with the 5.0 are saying that, the low end torque isn't there like it is on the EcoBoost, and it's true. If you were to have the 3.5, you'd have way more usable torque. Now the 375 is great in here, but the 3.5 is well over 400. I believe is 400 and I can't remember the exact number, but the torque is much higher on the 3.5. Now, another thing is obviously ride quality is quite a bit lower on your 250s, and this 150 is just a sport package. It's not a FX4 or anything fancy like that. It's just a regular sport package. So I think with the FX4s, they have a little bit of updated shocks and whatnot. This one just has your standard Ford shocks, whatever, Ford suspension, nothing special. So the ride on this thing is really, really good because they've lightened up everything. They've lightened up. You got a much lighter engine up front. You got a much lighter vehicle. So the cornering and everything is really, really, really good over here with the F150. The ride quality is really good. It's car-like, and then it's really fast too. With all the weight reduction and the torque that it has, really, really, really fast truck. Over here, you got a solid front axle. You got really stiff front suspension. Really, really firm shocks. Heavy axle, so you got tons of unsprung weight. You got hard tires. The tire inflation is really hard. You run the tires hard to carry the loads. Again, you go to the back, you even got a stiffer suspension up the back. Even harder tires. The tires even inflated even higher up in the back to carry the loads. And again, too, your axles are heavier. You got a solid axle in the front, so you're introducing all this unsprung weight into the equation. When it comes to ride quality, absolutely, your F-150 is going to ride better. Now, when it comes to stance, the F-250 is going to win on stance all day, every day. This truck sits so high, sits like this from the factory. Just to step in to this truck, it's already basically lifted. And people really don't have to lift these trucks because they're already so tall. Like, you really can just put a leveling kit on it and get 35s, or you could just maybe go a couple inches high. If you were to do like 6 inches on this truck, it'd be like 6 inches. This truck would be way too tall to be uncomfortable to get into it. But door is locked. I can't show how tall it is. This thing's tall. Like compared to my knee, this thing is like way up there. So and it comes in handy. Like when we're plowing snow and there's like, people have boulders and all kind of crazy landscapes. There's been times where if I were in something shorter, like the F-150, I could have possibly maybe dinged up the side of the truck or something. This thing's clearance, it's like so high off the ground, it has tons of wheel clearance. The axle is actually on this truck. The drive shaft on this truck is actually, how when people get really tall lifts, they'll point their axles up. From the factory, this axle is pointed upward toward the trans. So your axle is actually pointed up from the factory. Now that causes all kind of drivability issues when it's done aftermarket, but when it's done from the factory, it doesn't have that issue because it's done properly. In order to not have any vibrations, your steering angles have to mirror each other. That U-joint actually has vibration in it. So what they do is they cancel each other out. That one cancels it out. So that's how that works. So yeah, this axle is actually pointed up. You got your full floating solid axle in the back. So if you're doing towing and hauling, now when it comes to the full floating axle, the benefit is the bearings are better. So you can haul way more weight back here. And if you work this truck really hard every day, all day, the axles are actually thicker. And if an axle were to ever break, which is almost impossible anyway, then the axle would break, the truck would be stuck in neutral, but you wouldn't lose the wheel. On the F-150, it's got a semi-full floating rear end. It actually doesn't even, I don't even think it has that. It just has a, I don't know exactly what you call this rear end. I think it's called a semi-full floating, but I don't even think it is even a semi-full floating. So what happens is, if you were to attempt to work a F-150 as hard as a F-250, the axles on this are way lighter, and they're actually made more for fuel economy. And they actually can twist a little just from regular, or just from, if you overwork it, these axles can twist a little. And what can happen is, if you constantly work this truck as hard as that one, it'll do the work, don't get me wrong, but you can run the risk of actually breaking an axle. And if that were to happen, your whole entire wheel would come off of the vehicle. So, it's not a good idea to just take this and start hauling and towing, you know, well over its capacity, because there is like consequences for that. So it really comes down to which one's better. In my opinion, it's better to get the truck that fits your need the most. The F-150 is going to give you it's going to give you a lot of utility. It's going to give you the ability to haul that boat, whatever. But it's not going to haul, concrete, and like, even if you had a trailer that can do it, it's not going to haul. It's not going to tow a big dual axle trailer full of concrete or nothing like that. It'll move it, don't get me wrong. It'll do it, don't get me wrong. But it's going to squat too much, and it's going to probably cause failures throughout the drivetrain. Whereas your F250, you won't have that issue. Even still, like if you're hauling like concrete or something, you need to step up to like a 450 or something anyway. But you can do a lot more with this. Take it a lot further with towing and whatnot. And then too, your F250 is going to be a more year-round, more all-around money maker. If I wanted to, I can get into some bigger stuff now. Another thing, I got my snowplow there. That's 1,000 pounds of hauling off the front end that this axle has to carry. And what they use in the front are Dana 60s. Dana 60s are really, really strong front axles, and there's no way that the F-150 could ever haul a Western whiteout plow. It's 1,000 pounds, and then it's stretched really far off of the front end too. So there's more mechanical leverage that weight has over that front axle. So there's no way that a F-150's independent front end would handle that kind of load or weight. So another thing, you put that 1,000 pounds on the front, and this truck still keeps its alignment. You hang 1,000 pounds on the front of an F-150, it'll pull the front end down and knock the whole front end out of alignment, because when it's pulled down, your steering arms and everything's at different angles, and it basically won't even have any alignment if it could do it, which I don't even think it could do it. But that's the thing with this. Your F-250s can be money makers year-round, 365 days. In the slow time during the winter, I was out of work from Ford, and all we had was our snow service, and we still managed to bring in an extra $2,500 a week or a month. And I mean, we had like the slowest winter. It barely snowed, and we still got by because we had that extra little bit of income. So that was a nice thing to have. But anyway, let me know what you guys think if you made it this far. I know a lot of people won't make it this far. This is a long video. Let's see. Oh, it's only 13 minutes, so maybe some of you guys will make it this far. Let me know what you think. Should you get a 250 or 150? I know that obviously you should stick with the 150s. The 150s are really good right now. You're getting a lot of power. You're getting a lot of fun out of this truck. And the only thing is, I like 250s because I like that stance. I like feeling like, the biggest truck on the road. Very rarely do you pull up next to something and it's bigger unless it's lifted or something like that after. And that's why I really like the 250s, just that stance and feeling like the king of the road. Whereas the 150s, it's sporty, and it's just a nice, more comfortable ride. You can let your wife drive it. When I had this truck, though, at first it was just I had this truck. It was my new thing, and I was driving it personally. Wasn't using it for work yet, and my wife was driving this truck, not without me, but she did drive it with me in it. Whereas the 150, she'll take this thing. She's totally confident and comfortable, not worried about it. And she likes to drive it. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to show you. I got something new here in the mail for the F250 little mod here. Check it out. I just ordered these wheel well guards from WeatherTech. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let's go out. Let's go unbox it. Pretty lightweight here. Oh, Here's a little extra credit unboxing for you guys, for all the people that stayed tuned this late. One of the problems though with the F250 and F150 is these wheel wells. If you look up in here, there's no protection. Like, if you've seen these older trucks, you'll know there's very little protection. I'm just looking up in here to see if there's any kind of rust. There's a little. This truck has got 2 winters under his belt, so there's a little bit of rust starting up in there. Nothing bad. It's going to take probably 15 years or so for it to cause a problem, but eventually it will. This is a snow plowing truck, so I really need to start like getting things in order to protect this truck better. What I've already done is I've got these are WeatherTech mud flaps. They've helped, but I need to step it up. So when I did these, I put stainless steel hardware. I think I upgraded the hardware, or did it? I can't remember if I upgraded it or if it came with stainless. And I put grease behind here. I loaded the back end with grease. So those have been great. The truck sits so tall that the mud flaps really don't do like the perfect job, but they definitely keep a lot off. A lot of mud and dirt off. You still get splatter because the truck just sits so high. But what we've got here in the box, little extra credit unboxing. Let's see what we got. Wow, that's gonna be nice. I don't know if I can wait for this. Damn. So that's gonna be a cool little install video for us. Thank you for watching. My name's Sean. Thank you for watching Don and Sean. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think is better, F150 or F250. And I'll be in the comment section tonight. I gotta go work that graveyard shift at 4 tonight. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And have a great day.